Welcome back to From the Couch. We are on episode 19. It is August 10th. Today we got Aiden here with me. How you doing?
Not bad. How about yourself?
It's been great so far. Obviously
Good, good,
last
good.
week last week recorded here at home in Indiana, and we're still here. So been enjoying this time home, especially been enjoying watching you and the rest of the family play some softball. You guys just got done with the game tonight.
Nothing much to say there. We lost. That's the end of our season, unfortunately. So
A good
that'll do it.
season nonetheless. Sure you
That's
guys
what we
had a
could have
lot of fun
good.
with it.
Fun, yes.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's go ahead. Let's get quickly into our rapid fire news breakdown. Number one, football is finally back, Aiden. We are back in football season, and we had our first example of that last Thursday. The Hall of Fame game was played in Canton, Ohio. Again, it was the Arizona Cardinals and Carolina Panthers. So we got to see Carson Beck playing, and I believe it was Kenny Pickett started the game, but I don't remember who the other
yep.
QB was.
Hayes
Um,
King played.
Haynes King,
I'm
he
not
was
sure if
huge.
he played the whole second half or
I don't believe he played the whole game, but all I can say is he
second
was
half.
pretty impressive. I know we're talking about a Hall of Fame game here, and there's not a whole lot of meaning in it, other than just letting some of the like second and third string players on the team get some reps in. But I have to say, this is probably one of the best Hall of Fame games we've seen in the past few years.
Some are saying the greatest Hall of Fame slash preseason game of all time, and honestly, that might not be too far fetched. So
Yeah, really, honestly, I would say the same. Um, And I mean, it really came down to that final play, like you talked about Haynes King. Literally at the end of the game, there's not a whole lot on the line for the game. But they what do they go ahead and do? With a couple seconds left, they end up just running the ball in for
well,
in the end zone for a touchdown. Like
Hayes
it,
King does exactly what he did all throughout college and his time in Georgia Tech. And I mean, he just went out and made a play, didn't see anything there on the pass play, called his own number and put his body on the line for the win. And shout out to him. Shout out to the Panthers for actually uh, taking him on the 53-man final roster because there were some talks that he, with his injury, there some potential roster concerns if whether or not he'd make the cut. Happy he did. He deserves it. I think he could actually be a really solid quarterback, at least maybe for some option type work there in Carolina. Uh, but big ups to him and congrats to the Panthers for taking home the dub. Carson Beck looked phenomenal too, not gonna lie. I'm a big Carson Beck hater, especially since he beat our Buckeyes this past year. But not even just because I just have never really liked him. But he looked really good. He's looked really good all off season, to be honest, too. So he could have the makings of of a really solid quarterback if he keeps up that kind of work. And honestly, might be looking at a potential starting spot this year. Maybe not at the start of the season, but
I know I was
halfway through
because I
the
was
year.
wondering
So
who their starting quarterback would be for this season.
it's
Can't
gonna
remember who
be
they.
uh Tyrod Taylor? Question mark.
Tyrod Taylor. Wow. Well,
Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett, yeah, that's it. And I
Jacoby
think he
Brissett.
did get. I think he did get some. He might have started the game. I imagine. I'm sure.
Jacoby Brissett, I don't believe Pitt played in the Hall of Fame game. Uh,
Yeah.
only Carson. I think Carson Beck and then Caden Slavis, I believe, filled in for him after he came out, if I recall correctly.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's incredible. I think you pretty much stated there. Carson Beck he did look very impressive in that game, and yeah, he could probably be the future for the Cardinals if he kind of keeps that up. And who knows, maybe get a chance to start this season in a regular season game. So I was very impressed in what he had to do this season and
Yeah, he looked the
in that
part.
Hall of Fame
That's
game,
the
really.
big
So
thing. He looked the part. So that's all
yeah,
you can really ask for in a game like this. I mean, just go out there, show his stuff, and he did just that.
mhm.
But
And there was a
what?
couple of notable inductees that got inducted too. Drew Brees obviously being probably the top name, very impressive, and he's had a phenomenal career. I know we don't have to go a deep dive into talking about it, but It was pretty incredible. Believe they had their ceremony on Saturday.
Yeah. Um, Obviously, big shout out to Drew Brees and all the guys who were onto the ballot. I believe Big Ben, Adrian Peterson.
Well,
I think
Big Ben,
you
no,
told me
well,
Rick Sherman.
Big Ben, Adrian Peterson. That's on the ballot for next year.
Oh,
Probably
for next year. Okay, so I
that's
misunderstood what you
next year.
told me the other day.
But yeah,
Okay,
but
okay, okay.
so they did release who are going to probably potentially be first ballot Hall of Famers, and pretty much kind of like the whole list probably for candidacy. And there's obviously
I
going to be some
see.
big names on there, and Big Ben obviously he's going to be
Yeah, you
making that
confused me, man.
list.
I thought you were talking about for this year because I haven't been keeping up with that, so I didn't. I thought you were talking about
Yeah,
this
so
year
yeah,
when
so
you were
this
telling
year
me that the other day.
Drew Brees got inducted into the Hall of
Who
Fame on
else? Who
Saturday.
else was on that? Who else was on that list of
Oh,
who was on the ballot this year?
Vinatieri. What's the dude's
Oh,
name?
Adam Vinatieri,
Adam Vinatieri. Yeah, I know it was Adam Vinatieri because there was a
the Pat
funny
McAfee
joke he
quote,
made on
or
about
the thing
Pat
of Pat
McAfee.
McAfee holding his balls.
Yeah, that that
Yeah,
dude is
that's
hilarious.
right. I do recall that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so
Well,
yeah, we
shout out
had
to everybody on the Hall of Fame ballot this year. I didn't see it, so
Larry Fitzgerald was on that list
big
this year.
Fitz. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
Good old Fitz and Luke Kuechly, and then running back Roger Craig as well. So
Huge.
big names for this year, and man, there's gonna be some big names next year. So I can't wait to maybe talk about those in the future. So we'll
Yeah.
see. But yeah, very incredible Hall of Fame weekend. It was very enjoyable. We got football back, and now we're just gonna be getting into full swing for football season. So I cannot wait to
Yep.
talk more about
Very
this.
exciting.
On top of that, there was another big name too that also got his a brand new deal. That being Jameer Gibbs. So he just got himself paid.
Yep.
He had a what was it? His he had a 3-year contract, 67,500. Um, with guaranteed at least 37, about 37 million. So, and I know he still plays on the Lions. I'm thinking of David Montgomery. I can't remember. He's at the Texans now, but Jameer
Yeah,
Gibbs,
Jameer
a
Gibbs is
phenomenal
67.5 million. Yep.
phenomenal player. I mean, Aiden, what do you think? I know I don't remember if you've had him on fantasy. I know I've had both him and David Montgomery on fantasy a couple years, and
I have
they've been
not had him in
phenomenal. But
fantasy, but
despite what we go on with fantasy, I do still think that he is a phenomenal player and is great for the
yeah, no,
Lions.
deserved deal for Gibbs. He's been a great player there over in the Lions system. Obviously, was a part of that 1-2 punch with David Montgomery in the past couple years. I'm excited to see him kind of now take over that backfield, hopefully on his own. I'm sure they might still try and work in a secondary guy there, but this is Jameer Gibbs' backfield at the end of the day. So I'm excited to see him more in that red zone territory where Montgomery isn't hawking his red zone touches, red zone touchdowns opportunities. I'm also excited to see him more out of the backfield and some screen passes, see kind of how he handles that stuff. I know I think if I recall correctly, did most of that work, but I'm just excited overall to see him kind of be able to flourish into his own running back, where he is now the guy. Like he was kind of close to like the guy, but obviously again with Montgomery kind of taking some of his snaps, I'm now excited to see it be a one man show back there. So again, deserved contract though, great player.
I agree. Yeah, so I'm sure the Lions will have a great season with him, and he's going to continue to perform in many ways that some people probably could find hard to believe. But Jameer Gibbs, yeah, deserves to get paid. Very
What
excited
I
for him.
what I will say, potentially an overpay. Like 3 years at 6, 7.5 million is a bit high. I mean, he's now the highest paid running back in NFL history.
That's
I mean,
right.
it feels like every day we see this guy or that guy is the highest paid blank in NFL history. Um, so that would be my only critique of the contract. Is I just feel like it might be a minor overpay just because of the I mean, and it's been talked about heavily in the past couple years, but just the luxury of running backs in the league and how the running back market isn't what it once was. So whether this is the start of running backs regaining their true value, potentially, but at the end of the day, again, deserved it's a deserved contract. I mean, he deserved to get paid. and big, but just maybe a minor overpay in my opinion. We'll have to see. We'll see how it
Exactly.
turns out.
In other news, we got to talk about the 49ers, Aiden, because the 49ers, we what have we said in the past season? The thing that hurt them the most, they were still a pretty decent team last year, but they were stacked with injuries. I believe we called them the NFL hospital last year, if I
Civil War
recall.
Hospital.
That's it right there. They are literally that. We are not even started into this season, and we already have about 20% of the team on the roster that is injured right now. And just from starting from August, we've had 12 people that have had some type of injury, whether they are on an IR or they're questionable. Some of the most notable guys that are already a part of that list is Christian Kirk, Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, and Nick Bosa. Like, you got some of your big guys already out right now and dealing with some type of injuries, and we haven't even started the season. Like, I don't know what goes on in literally the 49ers hospital. I don't know what their athletic trainers are like. I don't know if they're dealing with a lot of things just happening in practice that they get easily injured. But all I can say is they need to get stuff figured out because the last thing they want is to have to go through another season with filled with injuries and costing them, without injuries, they could probably be making like the divisional, maybe the semifinals. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy that everything going on with the
Whoa, hold
49ers.
on.
But what do you think?
You think they're gonna make the playoffs?
Well, they were still a decent team last year, if I recall, with their injuries, and I
Yeah,
believe they were a
but
playoff team.
that was George Kittle didn't get hurt till like halfway through the year. TJ Watt, Nick Bosa didn't get hurt till like halfway through the year. I mean, this is the definition of a team that, I mean, what are they gonna do? Debo Samuel's back, which is great for him, but Debo Samuel is fat and slow. So unless he turns into some like absolute god, like he had what 1 or 2 good years over there at the 49ers before he left. Like, so unless he gets back to that kind of play, um, I don't see how this team can succeed. I mean, they're gonna be running out the definition of a G League team. Like, truthfully, I mean, Fred Warner's coming back off I believe ACL or meniscus or Achilles injury. I can't remember exactly which one it was. Like, this is a team playing with injury upon injury upon injury, and it was just it's ankle fracture. That's what it was. Dislocation. I mean, what do you do? What do you do if you're the 49ers? There's not much you can do. This might be a team that might be looking to make some trades before the deadline, because at the end, like, they are slowly but surely losing their depth. Like, it's just it's a tough spot for the 49ers. You and now, I mean, shoot, with the way McCaffrey's been, I mean, who's to say he doesn't get hurt?
Oh
He's been
yeah, I
hurt.
mean he's their top player. If he gets
Yeah, he's been
injured, then you
hurt
don't
like
have your
every other
run
year.
game.
Like, so, I mean, hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Love Christian McCaffrey, but it's just not the spot you want to be in if you're the 49ers. Maybe you move away from the power station since that seems to be causing all the problems. That's the theory out there right now. But I
I
don't know,
mean,
man. This is
it,
just not a good spot for the 49ers right now.
we've had our sticks about Brock Purdy, and I mean the rest of the team is probably the reason why he's had his success. But like, if you have injuries like this, the big guys like that, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy turns into JJ McCarthy basically.
Well, I want to go that far, but he's just, I don't know, man. It's like Ricky Pearsall's out for the year. Nick
Hmm.
Bosa is working with some leg soreness, I guess. Obviously, he's coming off of being injured most of last year, if I recall correctly. It was what that was. Um, Again, I could be mixing that up. I'm pretty sure it was last year. He was out most of the year. Mike Evans dealing with a quad
No,
strain. Christian Kirk's dealing with a calf strain. It's just like,
you
I
just took
mean,
out the big pieces of their offense.
yeah. So this is gonna be the year where Brock Purdy either proves myself wrong because I'm not a big fan of his, and you, proves the people that aren't big on him wrong, and he goes out and he slings the ball no matter what, or it's gonna show he really is just kind of a system guy. He needs the talent around him. This is we're gonna see something this year, and so I'm excited for his opportunity to prove us wrong. I hope he proves us wrong because I never want to prey on the downfall of a guy except for JJ McCarthy. Um, so yeah, go out there and show us how it's done, Brock. But just not the spot you want to be in if you're the 49ers at all.
Take this last month. You better not have any of your starters in for preseason. You need them healthy because you guys cannot afford any more injuries going into the regular season. They got to do something, whether it's changing in how they're playing it during their practice, during their training, or I don't know, maybe they need better staff. Who knows? Something has to be done about it.
Yeah.
Sticking on the track, we are now on week 2 for our division previews, Aiden.
Yes,
So
sir.
last week we did the AFC and NFC South. Today we're going to be doing AFC and NFC East. And obviously, since Peter's not here today, he has sent us his list of his predictions. So we will
Yes,
go over
sir.
his as well. So with that said, why don't we go ahead and start with the AFC East? Aiden, start us off with your prediction here for who's going to win the division.
For the division, or are we going with our
Well, honestly, if you honestly just choose what your,
our
probably your
records?
your most likely team to win the division, I would say.
Well, I think to take the division, I think the Patriots take the division personally. I think again they're returning a lot of good pieces. And I mean, they went 13 and or 14-3 last year, I believe. And I think they just kind of continue that success. They added some good talent in the offseason, so I think they take division.
What did you have as their record?
Yeah, so I have them at 13-4 this year.
And four. I'm actually opposite of you. I have the Patriots at 9-8. I think they're going to be a
What are we
mediocre
what
team
are we
this
doing?
year.
What
But listen,
I
man,
can
like
just see Peter right now. I can just see Peter. Like, I mean, okay, actually, you know what? I will digress because so this is Peter's pick for our audience. Peter has the Patriots at 10-7 this year.
yeah, so they see he's
But
probably I would be curious to hear on his take on it, but again, dude, like there wasn't a whole. I know they made the Super Bowl. We've already made that very clear episodes ago, but they just had such a soft schedule last year. They did not.
dude,
I
I
just don't
don't
think they were
I
a
don't
legit
care.
team
I
last year.
don't care. I just don't like that argument at all.
Like,
Like,
look,
look at
look, if you look at their schedule right now, they open at Seattle. That's going to be an L right there. They're going to play Pittsburgh. That's probably a win for them, unfortunately. Jacksonville has been starting to look pretty good. I could see that happen. It could be a hit or miss, but it is in Jacksonville, so they have advantage. I don't think they're beating the Bills. The Bills are, other than last year, the Bills are the team to beat in that division, and I honestly don't think that they can beat the Bills this year. They got a big matchup in Kansas City. They face off in Detroit. Actually, they don't play in Detroit. There's a whole thing with that. But they play Detroit, and there's just a lot of teams on here that are legit contenders that I don't see them beating. Like that's really where I would have them. I don't think they are a full legit team. They they were hit with a lot of luck last year. That's my opinion. I think that they're not a real contender personally.
I mean, and I think you're wrong. But it's just it's I just think that is I think it's blasphemy. That's what it is. They have arguably probably one of the best, if not the best corner in the NFL on their defense. Uh, if they start Travion Henderson, their run game's gonna be immaculate because Ramondre Stevenson is a fumble machine. They got AJ Brown, in case you forgot that they added this year. They added Romeo Dobbs. I loved Romeo Dobbs with the Packers. He was a great glue guy, kind of, just would go out there, do what needed to be done, kind of guy. Um, I will give you wide receiver 3 is not very strong. Kayshon Boutte, he can be good. He can also be kind of just eh.
Mhm.
I love Hunter Henry, obviously,
Hunter
and then
Henry, great, yeah.
they have a solid offensive line. Like, I don't know what more you want from a team like this, you know. And defensively, they got a sound defense. You know, me personally, I'm high on the Patriots. Again, I think it does help. They obviously made the Super Bowl last year, but again, this is a team. This is a team that just they got it done, right? They won the games they needed to win, and again they only lost 3 games last year. They split with the Bills last year. They Now I'll give you this: they did lose their week 1 to the Raiders, which was they also
Yikes.
lost week 3 to us, right? But
Mm.
still, like, other than that, they won the games needed to win. They did the things they needed to do. You're high on Tampa Bay, and they beat Tampa Bay last year. Like, it's things like that. Like, it's just hard for me to not ride their momentum. And again, especially with the ads they had in the offseason. I don't know. That's just my personal take on it, though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like, and I'll give like I'm going to give you my inverse here because I think the 13-14 this year is the Buffalo Bills. Like I've said, Buffalo Bills they've been on a high for the past few years. Of course, they end up losing in the playoffs, and of course, unfortunately, lost this year where it wasn't to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs because that's been like the story of their life for the past decade. It feels like, but as far as everything else goes, if they're not playing the Chiefs, they're making the playoffs. They are so close to making a Super Bowl, and I just don't. I see them just as the team to be beating in the AFC East, if not just the AFC in general. They're usually the top dog almost every year, and I think they're going to be 13-4. They don't have a. They have a lot. They do have a lot of tough opponents this year, but there's not a lot of people that I think can outbeat Josh Allen personally.
So let me ask you this. Okay. Let me open with this. Who you said you have them at 13-4.
13-4, yes, sir.
Who do you have them losing to, right? Because I think we can both agree. I think they're going to split with the Patriots, right? I think
I
that's a
do
fair
think that.
assessment,
Yeah, I agree
right?
with that.
They're going to lose to the Rams. I think that's a fair
Yep.
assessment,
Yep.
right? I think they again. I think they lose to Kansas City. I
Yeah,
think that it's just that thorn in their hit, right?
it is
They're
a
gonna
thorn.
they're
They
gonna
have now
lose.
they have had some success against the Chiefs in the regular season, but I can agree that they could lose that game too. Um, but after that, because I mean that's three right there. My other team I had them probably losing to two is at Denver or Baltimore. One of those two teams. I'm thinking.
See, but I think again it showed last year. Look at that Baltimore game last year. What they do? They choked the
Mhm.
choke of probably the decade outside of
That was rough.
28-3.
That was a tough game to lose. Shouldn't have lost that.
Like, I'm sorry. Was it them last year that
It
choked
was a
the
high scoring game, I believe. I think it was them.
No,
Now
I
you make me
apologize. It
question.
was not the Bills that choked against Baltimore. It was Baltimore that choked against the Bills. I'm an
Oh,
idiot.
yikes! We're both
My
idiots.
mistake. My mistake. Hand up right there, folks. Still, still kind of goes to my point, right? I mean,
Yeah.
a game that they should have. If you're gonna, and again, actually, the Ravens are probably worse this year, so I will actually sustain your argument on the Ravens. But again, I still think again, I think they lose to Detroit. I think they lose to the Chargers, right? I like the Chargers a lot. I'm
Chargers
high on the
is yeah,
Chargers.
that's valid.
They're taking an L to New England, right? They're losing to the Rams. That's already 4 losses right there, and that's at the start of the
Mm-hmm.
year. I actually love your take of them losing to Denver. I think Denver's a phenomenal team.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and again, I think a lot of it comes down to roster construction here,
It
right?
does. Yeah.
The biggest problem with the Bills right now is they're not super deep on the defensive side of the ball, and they're not super deep at the wide receiver position. That's gonna be the big question marks. Can DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, and Josh Palmer step up this year? Right? Josh
Mm-hmm.
Palmer, obviously coming over from the Chargers, was a great. I mean, not great, was decent with the Chargers, right? Can he step up? Right? Is this a guy that can come in significant impact, right? So in 12 games with the Bills last year, 22 receptions on 37 targets, no touchdowns, right?
Hmm.
Like, can he take that next step now and become a meaningful starter, right, at the wide receiver? I just don't know if he can do that, right? Because
Right.
Lord knows unless Keon Coleman steps up, Khalil Shakir is just kinda there. I like Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox both, actually. Big fans of theirs, but I just don't love their wide receiver room right now, and that's why I'm concerned about them, right? If the wide receiver room doesn't step up, I don't think their defense is good enough to sustain, uh, uh, at least to the level that we expect from the Bills at this moment, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's just gonna come down to to certain things on the defensive side of the ball, but again, we'll see. Again, I mean,
Yeah.
and to be honest, I'm not far off with you. So actually, I have the Bills at 12-5.
12-5. Okay.
So I am right there with you. And Peter, for our folks, also has the Bills at 12-5.
12-5.
He does have the Bills winning the division though
Hmm.
at 12-5. Again, I do think the AFC East is going to be one of the better divisions in football, outside of course the bottom two teams. But I think their top are going to be some of the top teams in the NFL this year. Like
Yeah.
truthfully, so
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad take. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and let people know about those bottom two teams that we have there? I have the Dolphins going 5-12. I don't think they're going to be doing a whole lot this season. I know
yeah, I
they're
don't think that's
they're pretty
ridiculous
much
to
doing
say.
essentially a pretty big rebuild with no longer having Tua on the team, and now they're with oh, I'm trying to think who their new QB is, but
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. Yeah, okay. You know what? I do love Malik Willis. I know you love Malik Willis,
Okay, but
but
there's more to the team than just a
despite
quarterback.
despite that fact, I don't think it changes a whole lot for them. But yeah, they have a lot of work to do down there in Miami. And to top it all off again, like you say, we got two of probably the best teams in that division that they have to try and beat. They're not beating the Bills, they're not beating the Patriots. That's already four losses right there on their season. It's a pretty rough
Yeah,
spot
you
for the
kind of
Dolphins.
Yeah, you kinda already hit on all the things that even I was gonna hit on. I mean, I have the Dolphins at 4-13. I think they're gonna be the worst team in the division this year.
Hmm.
And then, again, for our folks listening, Peter has the Dolphins at 3-14, the worst in the division. Um, so then, obviously, to round it out, I have the Jets at 5-12.
I'm
Um,
actually surprised that you have them higher than the Dolphins.
yeah, so big reason I have the Jets higher is again comes back to roster, right? I don't hate the New York's offense, right? Geno Smith isn't amazing, but he can be we've seen it in the past, he can be serviceable. I like Brees Hall a lot. Garrett Wilson, obviously phenomenal player. Uh, Omar Cooper Jr. could be due for a good year. If he can flourish the way a lot of people expect him to. And Kenyon Sadiq, big fan of his as well. Not too bad. And I mean, again, offensive line isn't great, but all you got to do is really protect him. We've seen Brees Hall do decent things behind that offensive line. So if he can just keep doing the thing he's doing, and then defensively is obviously kind of where you start getting the question marks
Hmm.
with the Jets. But I would still take the Jets defense over the Dolphins defense. I think the Dolphins overall, right? I think the Dolphins have probably one of the worst rosters in the NFL. Just to
Yeah,
throw that out there. I don't.
that's not really an awful take, but I will say this: if you're going to say that the Jets are going to be better than Dolphins this year, the Jets have to at least record an interception this year.
That's a fair argument, I suppose. That is a fair argument.
I believe that Justin Herbert and Madison Beer, they were girlfriend engaged, and now getting married before the Jets have recorded an interception. So I mean,
I think they will record an interception this year, believe it or not.
they
I
if they
do think
record
they
an
will.
interception, man, be on the lookout. They're going that's their version of a Super Bowl right there.
True. That's true.
But
So,
yeah, and so I mean, for me, like I said, I have the Jets at 2-15, so I really didn't think they were going to be doing a whole lot. Again, there's a lot of questions. I think they had a pretty decent draft on their defense this year. Obviously, they have Minka Fitzpatrick, who yeah is getting a little bit older, but is still serviceable for them. But yeah, it just kind of is a matter of how well these
not
guys
to
they
mention
drafted this year helps
D'Angelo
them out.
Ponds for the Jets too.
Yep,
Widely
that's
considered one
right.
of the best DBs in college last year. So,
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of potential there. Peter had the Jets going 4-13, and I think you already mentioned that he had the Dolphins 3-14.
yeah.
So he does agree with you that they're going to be better than the Dolphins this year. But only time will tell. I need to see some good things from Geno Smith. They got great running back in Brees Hall, and then obviously Garrett Wilson there, who is obviously a phenomenal wide receiver, and he just needs a great quarterback around him to be able to get in the best reps for that team. So there's a lot of potential for the Jets. It's just a matter of how their defense plays and if Geno Smith can be serviceable enough for it.
Yeah. Um, so just to review for our folks again listening, uh I will start with mine. I'll then read Peter's. Levi, if you want to round us out with
Mhm.
yours. So our predictions for the AFC East are for myself, I have the Pats winning the division at 13-4. I have the Bills in second at 12-5. I have the Jets, excuse me, in third at 5-12, and the Dolphins in last at 4-13. Peter has the Bills in first at 12-5. He has the Patriots in second at 10-7. The Jets in third at 4-13, and the Dolphins in fourth at 3-14.
Okay, and then I had the Bills at 13-4, Dolphins at 5-12, Patriots at 9-8, and the Jets at 2-15.
Great. Yep. And then I guess if you want to lead us off into the NFC East side of things
Sure.
here.
Well, I'm gonna start with the NFC East here with my division favorite, and that's gonna be the Philadelphia Eagles. I have them going 12-5. Biggest thing, Jalen Hurts. I know we've probably had some arguments about him and had some questions raised on him, but he's still a pretty great quarterback. And I know we all hate
Push, push.
the tush push, but that tush push for them, as much as we hate it, is going to win them games, making them a pretty difficult team to beat. I mean, I think it was 2 years ago. I know that was 2 years ago. It was a different Eagles team, but they were facing off against the Steelers, and I believe that entire game, like we didn't have very many drives. I believe there was a whole drive where the Eagles just the entire quarter drove all the way down off of one entire drive and ended up scoring, and there was an entire quarter that already went by because they just kept doing the tush push, and there's not much we could do about this. Now,
Is that in reference to last year, sorry, or
I think it was 2 years ago
yeah, 2
we
years
faced
ago,
the
yes, yep.
Eagles, and yeah, they just made it difficult, and they make it difficult and annoying for several different teams in the NFL. That yeah, it just makes them a more difficult team to beat. If it's a legal play, they can do it. They're gonna find ways to win games. Um, but let's not even forget they got Saquon Barkley as their running back, and he's no bum. That guy has been incredible since he's made his debut in Philadelphia, and he continues to do big things, big plays every week during the season. Um, their defense isn't horrible. Like they've done pretty well and serviced enough on defense, but it really just comes down to how impressive their offense is able to be during the season just begin because they have the tush push. I hate to just say that that's all that they have about them, but it honestly is true. That's probably one of the reasons why
It's
they are a
true.
good team, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Jalen Hurts still has legs himself, so either he can run it or Saquon can do it. They got Devontae Smith as their top wide receiver. They just got Mekhi Lemon this year. I think he was yeah, they drafted him this year if I
Yeah.
recall. And
Yep.
then they have Dallas Goddard here too. So they're a tough team to beat. I mean, but I mean, I'm curious on what you have to say there. So I said I have them going 12-5, and Peter, by the way, has them 11-6.
Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head, honestly, kinda hit all the talking points that I was gonna go for. I also have them as my division winner at 12-5, ironically. Again, I mean, just great roster construction here. Losing AJ Brown obviously hurts, but he wasn't happy there, so it's fine. It's good to see him go, in that regard. I'm excited to see what Devontae Smith now does as the wide receiver 1. They bring in Dontavion Wicks, excuse me, out of, Green Bay. And honestly, you guys, you might be able to confirm this. Anyone in our fantasy league might be able to confirm this. You know, I'm a fan of some of these like random Packers receivers, man. Uh, like I'm a fan of Dontavion Wicks. I'm a fan of Romeo Dobbs. Like these are guys that I've picked up in fantasy when I've needed a like a position because I don't know. I've always enjoyed the way they play ball. You know, excuse me. They have just done good things in my opinion. And of course, Makai Lemon, very highly touted. Wide receiver draft pick. Obviously, Eagles stole him from just under the Steelers' noses this year. That one hurt a bit to see, but that's all right. So I'm excited to see kind of what he can do. Hopefully, he stays healthy all year. Obviously, you don't ever want to see a guy hurt. Obviously, they got the white boys in the back of the defense, and Cooper DeJean and who's the other one? I'm blanking on his name. Um, oh my gosh,
Is he on the Eagles right now or Packers?
I'm pretty sure. Well, Cooper DeJean is the one I know for sure. I'm blanking on the other guy. There's another white guy that they had drafted or that they have, and I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Is
I don't
he
know. I'm
do you know what position they drafted this
pretty
guy?
sure he was a safety or a DB, just like
There's Marcus
who
Epps. There's Coop. You already said Cooper DeJean.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you kind of hit the points there. So sounds like for you, you do have them. You do appreciate what they've done in the draft for their defense. So of course, it gives them another valid reason to be really good this year. But again, it just comes down to that offense. That
I'm a
offense
tweaker.
is
Not even a
insane.
second. There's not a second defensive back for the Eagles. Why was I thinking that they had? I thought they got a guy from Iowa, man. Am I a tweaker? Or was it maybe Cooper DeJean was the one? Oh, Cooper
There
DeJean
you
was the
are.
one from Iowa. I am a tweaker. Anyways, all that to say, yeah, they're gonna win the division.
Well, the team that I have coming just behind them, it's them boys, America's team, the Cowboys, 10-7. I
Yeah,
don't
I
hate. I don't hate Dak Prescott. Of course, he's honestly. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to request out of Dallas after the constant failure that they have every season. We get the Cowboys, they get the fans, they get so hyped up every year saying this is going to be their year, but there's just disappointment year after year after year with them. And to be fair, like, yeah, 10-7 is not a terrible record. That's still enough to get you into the playoffs. But I don't even know what to say about them. There's just a lot that just always goes wrong with them really in the playoffs. It's not like they have a terrible roster. I mean, they have George Pickens as one of their wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb is their biggest one, of course, and they have Javonte Williams as their running back. I don't think they're not horrible on defense either. And let's not forget they just drafted Caleb Downs too. So you have them in the backfield, and I'm sure full Ohio State bias is going to look good on the Cowboys this season. But they're just I don't know. There always just seems to be some kind of problem with them. I can't really specify what it is, but they always find a way to lose it all, and sometimes even lose embarrassing games that they shouldn't have lost. But they can't. They won't be the best team in the NFC East personally.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you in regards to the Cowboys. Also, have met, or I have them at 11-6. I think they're going to be a solid team this year. I do think they will overachieve a little bit. I think because I don't know if you mentioned it, Peter has them at
Nine and
one
eight,
second, 9-8. Yep.
and a
I
little
think
more
I think
brutal.
I think they're going to overachieve a little bit more than 9-8, but again, it's they're just a weird team, man. You know, it's one of those teams that on paper, like offensively, should be great. Defensively, might not be the best defense in the league, but still have a good defense in my opinion. Obviously, like you mentioned, big ad with Caleb Downs in the draft. Just saw a great clip of him and a really good rep against CD Lamb. Um, so I mean, like on paper, like they have the roster to make something happen, and it's just gonna be whether or not, maybe Jerry needs to close the curtains or the blinds in the stadium. I don't know, something like that. Maybe
There was a
that'll
meme. There was a meme I saw on that the other day. They're at training camp and the players had like a shade shield on them, and
I
it's
did
like
see that.
them practicing before they are stuck in the sun.
I did see that. Yeah. So I do think they're gonna overachieve a little bit more than what Peter thinks, but it sucks because you just never know with the Cowboys. So,
Yeah, they're a tough
but
team, but
yeah,
um, moving on, I have the third in division is the Commanders. I have them going 6-11 this year. Not looking too hot. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Jaden Daniels, but uh, they had a bad season last year, and I mean, big part of it had to do with him being injured. I think for a good portion of the season, and that kind of led to their downfall. Because like he had a pretty phenomenal rookie season, if I recall, and they made playoffs. So it's not like they're bums or anything, but right now I just don't have a lot to go off of. They do, I'm looking at their roster right now. I mean, they do have a really good offense. They got Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, who's still a great wide receiver. Stephon Diggs is there now. Luke McCaffrey. Um, I mean, and it's not terrible, but I don't know. If you look at their schedule, a lot of the teams that they do have to play this year, there's just some teams that are a lot better than them. And I don't know if Jane Daniels has had, I don't know if he's fully ready for that personally. I hope he doesn't get injured again, but I don't know. There's just a lot there that I think is left to be desired. But I mean that's kind of how I see it. And there's just a lot of teams they have this year on their schedule that I think are just phenomenally better than them.
yeah. I'm not. So I have the Commanders at 6-11. I actually have them last in the division. Um, I do think that the Giants finished better than the Commanders this year, specifically this year. Um, while they did add a decent wide receiver ad, we'll have to see how he actually turns out in Stephon Diggs. I'm not I'm not a big Stephon Diggs believer at this point in his career. My biggest concern I think with the Commanders is going to be running back room. I'm not huge on Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Rashad Wright don't think is really a phenomenal backup either. I'm not huge on that part of the offense. Not big in their wide receiver too. Obviously, Terry McLaurin's going to be again going to be the leader of that wide receiver room. Will Stephon Diggs play his role is going to be kind of I think the big question, or is the ego going to be too much there? Luke McCaffrey doesn't really even need to be mentioned. Again, he's just kind of the third guy there. Obviously, just brother of Christian McCaffrey. Maybe he'll be something this year. We'll have to see. Other than that, I mean, defensively, it's not too bad. I actually I don't hate their defense. Pretty solid defense. The big names being Sonny Styles and Mike Sanders still. Mike Sanders still obviously another highly touted defensive back coming out of the draft. Excuse me, I believe that was 2 years ago he was drafted. So another big name there, and obviously Sonny Styles drafted last year from Ohio State. Again, no bias there, but just a freak athlete, freak of nature. But I'm just curious to see how the rest of that defense kind of what kind of chemistry that they can have with each other, and just kind of what they can do. So I'm not super sold on their defense, but I'm also not like I don't love their defense, but I don't hate it. I'm kind of just right in the middle. Um,
Yeah.
their offense is what concerns me the most, and obviously Jaden Daniels coming back from injury. I'm just concerned, on what he can do coming back from injury. So
Yeah, right, absolutely.
yep, and then I don't know if you mentioned it, but Peter has the Commanders at 8-9, so that would be third in the division for him. And for his final team, and I'll just get out of the way, he has the Giants at 6-11, which I will then funnel to myself. I have the Giants at 7-10,
7-10.
actually.
Yeah, you said you had them third in the
So
division.
I
I had
do.
them. I had them going 5-12, so I had them last in the division. Why don't you go ahead and give your reason on why you
Yeah.
put them where you did?
Yeah, honestly, big thing, obviously getting Malik Neighbors back is gonna be huge. Other than that, not totally sold on their wide receiver room. Obviously, Darius Slayton, Calvin Austin the third. Decent wide receiver with the Steelers, obviously. Darius Slayton is just kind of Darius Slayton, I guess. Um, Other than that, I mean, decent offensive line. Cam Scatterby obviously coming back as well from injury. As long as he keeps running like he has CTE and likes hitting brick walls, he should be fine. But defensively, I actually am a big fan of their defense here. Got some really solid defensive pieces, great edge rushers. Arvell Reese is obviously should be a great add there for them. Again, no Ohio State bias there, just the truth. I do like Tremaine Edmonds a lot, just a big guy there in the middle of the defense, like Arvell Reese. So I think they could be a really good pairing there. Obviously Abdul Carter coming off the edge should be great. Brian Burns, another good add in my opinion, and then just a decent defensive back room too. Like I really don't I can't be too upset with kind of what they got going on there personally, and that's why I think I mean they could even surprise and do even better. To be honest, I wouldn't be against it for one, but just watch out for the Giants this year, man. I don't know. I love Jackson
I
Dart. I
I
love
do agree.
Jackson Dart.
I do agree with you on that. And the primary reason I would say that they could potentially be better, but the reason why I have them so low, it's because they have a new head coach. But this is not just any head coach. We're talking about John Harbaugh, a Hall of Famer. Obviously, we've had our fill with him in the Baltimore Ravens area, and he's a phenomenal coach. I know I'm a Steelers fan, but that dude, I have a lot of mass respect for him. And honestly, I honored the rivalry we had with him. He's a phenomenal coach, a Hall of Famer, no doubt, but I just don't know what to expect for him to be on a different team. I kind of the only thing I can kind of compare him to was when Mike Vrabel left the Titans and now he coaches for the Patriots. Obviously, we've had our whole thing with the Patriots, but Mike Vrabel has kind of put a good team together to make them look good. I guess you could say the same for John Harbaugh, but there's just a lot that I don't know about um, to see how they're going to succeed this year. Jackson Dart's a great quarterback. We love Cam Scatterby. Scatterby is a fun player, and he's hilarious. Um, John Harbaugh did get Isaiah Likely back, so he's got his tight end back from Ravens. So I'm very excited for that. So there's a lot of chemistry that he already has with him. Um, but yeah, I just don't know what to expect out of John Harbaugh in a new environment now. It was a total surprise to me when he went to New York, but I just don't know enough on the chemistry he's built there in New York that I don't know if he's going to have a great first season. But like you said, he could surprise us, and he could have turned this team around from being fourth in the division to who knows, maybe they'll get first in the division this year. It would really be a surprise, but also not surprising given how much respect I do have for John Harbaugh. So that's the big key factor there. Like I said, I have him going 5-12, and then Peter had him 6-11, like you said, and you have him going third in the division.
Yeah,
So,
third in the
but
division at
like
7-10.
at 7-10, yeah. So I don't know. Overall, it could be interesting.
Yeah. So again, just to recap for just our listeners, I'll just again go in order, get myself, give Peter, and transition it off to you. So first division, it's NFC East. I have the Eagles at 12-5. Second, I have Cowboys at 11-6. Third, I have Giants at 7-10. And fourth, I have the Commanders at 6-11. And then finally, Peter, NFC East again. First, he has the Eagles at 11-6. Second, he has the Cowboys at 9-8. Third, he has Commanders at 8-9. Fourth, he has the Giants at 6-11.
Okay. And then, yeah, so for my list for the NFC East, I had at the top of the division Eagles 12-5, the Cowboys 10-7, Commanders 6-11, and the Giants 5-12.
Great
So
stuff.
so stay tuned next week. We're going to get ready to cover our next division. So we're continuing to do this over the next few weeks. Peter will be back with us to join us for our preview. So stay tuned for that as we continue to preview some of your favorite teams. Leave a comment below and let us know what we got wrong, what we got right, and who do you think is going to be the best team in each of these divisions this year. So please let us know in the comments. To our final thing, Aiden, we got
Sure.
week 3 of the Buckeye Breakdown,
Yes,
and
sir.
so far you have gotten 7 points. So your first week you had gotten it was 3 points, followed
Yep.
by last week where you got 4. So
Yes, sir.
you're in a pretty good position right now. And to be fair, you do have some pretty good ball knowledge so far. So I'm very interested though to see how you're going to do this week because I have made it a little bit more difficult. So I am very interested to see how you're going to do this time around.
Yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait to just keep plugging away. This is fun. I enjoy it.
It is pretty incredible, no doubt. All right, so Aiden, we are on week 3 of the Buckeye Breakdown. So let's go ahead and give you your clue to week 3.
All right.
Quarterback run. The 15. Inside the 5. Touchdown, Buckeye. But number 88, Craig Rowe, jumps inside. Beats him outside. Rowe's job is to force that ball back inside. You see DeVere Posey blocking downfield. And when you get in space, he will put you on a highlight.
Did that cut out intentionally?
Cutout is intentional. I
Okay.
intentionally cut out the player. They say the player several times in there, and so I just can't give that away to you, unfortunately.
Devere
So
Posey. The heck? That's like Terrell Pryor's time. Can you play it one more time?
Quarterback run. The 15. Inside the 5. Touchdown, Buckeye. But number 88, Craig Rowe, jumps inside. Beats him outside. Rowe's job is to force that ball back inside. You see DeVere Posey blocking downfield. And when you get in space, he will put you on a highlight.
What the freak?
I told you it'd be difficult.
Devere Posey. Again, that's like Terrell Pryor's time. Maybe early Braxton Miller. Okay, let me ask you this. Am I allowed to do any type of research on these, like, at all? Or am I going just purely like, can I look at a
Well,
schedule or no?
if you want to look at the time frame, because obviously you have an ideal time frame of where this is. If you want to look up the time frame of when said player played, you obviously, you probably have the hint of Terrell Pryor, so maybe that kind of helps give you a clue. But go ahead and take a look at that. Maybe that's going to help you figure it out. Now, I don't know if there was anything in the clip that could indicate it, but do you even have an idea of who the team may be?
Um, so okay, so I'm going specifically based off of the idea again. So, Devere Posey, again with my research, played from 2008 to 2011. Again, you are saying this is legal, correct? For me to just
Yeah, I,
check
I'll,
his.
I'll give that to you. It is a difficult one, so I think that's a fair thing to do.
Okay. So, and then Terrell Pryor was drafted in 2011. So, right now, I do believe it's Terrell Pryor is the quarterback.
Is that what you think?
Yes, I think Terrell Pryor is the quarterback. Is that correct?
It is not Terrell Pryor.
What? Okay, see now I'm really lost. So Terrell Pryor played from 2000.
What year do you think this play took place?
Well, this is before. This is if it's not Terrell Pryor, this had to take place in 2011, right? Which would Yeah, this would have to take place in 2011, which then was it straight to Braxton Miller from DeVere or Wyatt? Am I Terrell Pryor straight to? So it's Braxton Miller, yeah.
It is Braxton Miller. Yes, you do have that part right.
Okay, so it's Braxton Miller in 2011.
Okay. 2011. Yeah, you do have that right. Yep.
Braxton Miller in 2011. Braxton Miller. No. Braxton Miller in 2012. No. I'm all messed up now. Terrell Pryor was selected in the 2011 draft. DeVere Posey was selected in the 2012 draft. No. Yes, he was selected in 2012, which means 2010 was technically okay. So this is 2011. This is the year. This would have been the year that we. Was this the vacated year, or was 2012 the vacated year? I think 2012 was the vacated year because we would have been in the national championship, and I think we went undefeated in 2012. If I recall correctly. So if this is 2011, it was not a good year in 2011. I know that much. Yeah, 2012 was a vacated year because we went undefeated in 2012. So 2011. Can I get the clip one more time, please?
One more time. Here you go.
Quarterback run. The 15. Inside the 5. Touchdown, Buckeye. But number 88, Craig Rowe, jumps inside. Beats him outside. Rowe's job is to force that ball back inside. You see DeVere Posey blocking downfield. And when you get in space, he will put you on a highlight.
This is tough. This is so tough.
And it's not like it's like a big iconic play. You obviously know what the play is. You've gotten the player.
Yeah, it's
You've
a
got the
Braxton
year.
Miller touchdown run from
You just
2011.
who could have possibly
The
been our
hard
opponent?
part is 2011 again just being such a weird year. This could be against this could be late. But okay, sorry. Can I actually hear it one more time? I want to listen to the crowd.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna get it here one more time.
Quarterback run. The 15. Inside the 5. Touchdown, Buckeye. But number 88, Craig Rowe, jumps inside.
So that's not a very ecstatic crowd either, which tells me it's probably not at home.
And when you get in space, he will put you on a highlight.
So it's probably not at home. Braxton Miller. Could this be? Could it be neutral site maybe?
I don't know back in the day how many neutral site games there were other than bowl games.
Well, that's why I say I wonder if it could be neutral site for that reason. I'm I'm not I'm not 100% confident in this guess, but based off the crowd reaction, I'm assuming it's not at home. And I think if it wasn't at home, I think even if it was at a neutral site, I do think the crowd reaction would still be better than that. So I think I'm gonna go with 2011 Michigan.
Braxton Miller, 2011 Michigan.
Yeah, because I know he has. I mean, from what I remember from some of his highlight tapes, I know he has some runs against Michigan where he, obviously, messes up the team because he's that kind of guy. So I think that's gonna be my guess. 2011 Michigan.
You would be correct. It was 2011 Michigan.
Wow.
Now I don't know. I don't know if I can necessarily give you Braxton Miller though. You did originally say Terrell Pryor. I don't know about that.
But I mean, I guess it's up to you, or we could leave it up to the audience, I guess, as well, potentially.
Leave it in the
But
comments. Should I give Aiden the point for Braxton Miller, or he did initially say Terrell Pryor? Should I not give him a point for that? Please leave it in the comments for us to decide. You guys decide on that point.
hey,
And
well,
don't help him out. Don't help him out. That's all I'll say.
I'm happy that I somehow managed to get that right.
Yeah, on here I'll play, and now I'm gonna play for you the full clip.
Quarterback run. Miller's got the 15. Miller inside the 5. Touchdown, Buckeye. But number 88, Craig Rowe, jumps inside. Braxton Miller beats him to the outside.
That is such a random play.
You see DeVere Posey blocking downfield.
Because then I think 2 years later in 2013, he has like a 50-yard touchdown run against Michigan at Michigan.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Yeah, and I mean, he had a pretty good career against Michigan, if I recall, right?
Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, he was awesome. He was a fun guy to watch, and
very fun guy to watch.
But I mean, yeah, that was very good, Aiden. So yeah, right now you would have. You're gonna have either 3 or 4 points depending
So I'm
on.
at 10 or 11.
So yeah, you're at a 10 and 11. So please leave it in the comments. Let us know as soon as possible so we know what score Aiden deserves for this week. But still, Aiden, nonetheless, very good. Very good guessing. I love all the little things you do to try and piece things together and figure out who it was. So that's very impressive. I will applaud
Again,
you
I
for
think
that.
the big tell and what originally made me lean Terrell Pryor was DeVere Posey. I knew DeVere Posey played when Terrell Pryor played. I couldn't remember if he was there for Braxton Miller or not. That was the one part where I was struggling. And that's ultimately why I leaned Terrell Pryor at the start there, before obviously, confirming that it was Braxton Miller. But he was kind of the glue that brought it together there. Obviously, then the crowd wasn't very ecstatic for what sounded like a pretty good play for obviously the Buckeyes. So that was kind of why then I leaned an away game. And what other away game is that quiet when Ohio State does something good than Michigan? So
Oh, of course, yeah. Great indicator right there. Still, yeah, so well done. But this takes us here to another end of our show today. So we thank you guys again so much for watching. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us, leave a like, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and any other platforms you guys may listen to us on. We thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to be here next week as we go into our Buckeye Breakdown Week 4. And we'll continue our NFL series here on Division Previews, where Peter will be back with us next week. But if you have any other questions, leave them down in the comments on anything else you guys would love to see us do, especially as we approach this upcoming football season. We cannot wait to talk more about football with you guys. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Aiden, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, we appreciate everybody for following on this journey. We apologize for this episode coming out a little later than we would have liked. Unfortunately, we ran into some issues on the not actual technical issues, but just actual logistical issues. So that kind of pushed us back a little bit. But we hope you enjoy this episode. Apologize, also a bit of a shorter one, but again, that's just kind of the way the cards were drawn today. But again, we appreciate you all. I think you should all vote that I should get the point because that helps me out. But again, appreciate you all. Hope you enjoyed this episode and just can't wait to get back to it for the next one.
Yes, sir. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in next week. And in the meantime, go out and enjoy some more sports and hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you later.
Sir.